I want to welcome Kennesaw Happenings. We're in the studio at Overture, right next to Academy Sports and Hobby Lobby behind Popeyes and QT. And in the studio, we have, well, you're going to hear from her son and her in a little bit, but we're going to talk senior living right now. So, Stephanie, tell our viewers who you are, what you do, and who you serve.
Well, hello, everybody. I'm Stefanie Merolla. I'm the Sales and Marketing Director with Legacy Ridge at Marietta. We are an assisted living community where we take and help residents with their ADLs and with the most love and care.
I like that the second to last word, love.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you told me about your mom and dad in our sister state over there.
Yes.
So how did you come about to serve the seniors? I always like to kind of hear that journey. What was your motivation?
Well, first of all, I've always worked with children back in the day. I have 4 sons. And then I worked in the school system for years because we had a family-owned business. And then the housing market had a turn for the worst, and I needed to step up my game, so to speak. So I worked with a geriatric psych unit that was attached to a nursing home and to a hospital. And from there, I started working with the elderly because they had to come in for medication adjustments and so forth. And that's where I got the taste of working with the elderly. And I worked there for about 5 or 6 years. And then I stepped over into the assisted living community. So altogether, I've been working with the elderly for about 8 years.
That's awesome. We hear different stories and different journeys. Mm-hmm. So in your position right now, what kind of fills your heart? What do you enjoy most about it?
Helping the families. A lot of the families that are coming into the assisted living community, they don't understand exactly what we do and how we can help their family. And they're lost. And so not only am I a sales and marketing director, but I'm an educator as well. So I wind up giving a education lesson, just not in a classroom setting. So anyway, but I let them know the differences between assisted living, a skilled nursing facility. They don't understand what it takes financially to come into a community. They don't understand the physical requirements that are, to come into a community. And not only that, they don't understand what the overall benefit will be for their loved one once they come into a community. Sometimes our families, the elderly, are living at home with their families, and even though they're less than 5 feet away, but they might as well be 100 miles away because the elderly are living with their children, and their children are involved with their work lives and raising their families and so forth. And so really that parent is isolated and alone. But when they come into our community in assisted living, we have tons of activities. We have a wonderful activity director. She does around 6 activities a day, and they're meaningful and give them purpose. And you just see the light bulb, and you see them come on, and you just see them blossom, and it's a wonderful thing. So that's what I really like about it, is helping the families.
Yeah, when you said community, it's, living in this community, we have had a chance to experience it firsthand. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing better than when you're at the stage of your life to be able to have new friends and people that you can play bingo with, cards with, hang out, breakfast with, do activities within a place, which I think is, because I know my mom's 94 and she lives by herself.
Aww.
And, so I think, don't you feel like, as we get older, we get set in our ways. And I've always talked to my sisters and my brother up there, it's like, hey, this was about a year ago. Man, this community is wonderful, because what I found is, as you get older, you lose some of your friends. Mm-hmm. And if you lose them, if you're playing bridge, it's a difficult game. Okay. We have over here beginner's bridge and we have advanced bridge. So, they're always learning. And if somebody's willing to teach, which is a resident willing to teach others, you always have those activities which to your what you said about community is so important.
Oh, yeah.
What would you say, like, if you're talking to our viewers and they're hearing the word community for the first time, how would you describe what you do and how you have been able to embrace it to somebody that doesn't have a clue of what it means to be in a facility with community?
Well, like I said, a lot of it goes back to education. So when I have a family member to come in and they're looking for their parent, we always do a discovery stage.
Mhm.
And in that discovery, we find out about their parent and what they did back in the day and what was their life like back in the day, what were their hobbies and what were their enjoyments. And so we find out that they used to love music or they traveled back in the day, played cards like you were talking.
Mhm.
So we find out all these different things that in the discovery stage about who that person was and what they were like, especially if they're dealing with dementia and they're having memory issues. And so this is the way that we can make those connections and to, like I said, give them purpose and meaning in their daily activities. And then also we find out about their physical abilities as well, because you do have to have a requirement to come into assisted living. So that is something that we need to be able to do, because sometimes we may have to take and modify an activity. So if we're doing like a painting session, somebody may be able to take a blank canvas and just turn it into a masterpiece, as to where another resident may need to paint and they just do it by number.
Mhm.
And then the other resident may not have the connections to put those talents together. So we'll take and do a modification. It may be like sponge painting. So we do modifications to make an activity happen for them, depending on how advanced they are, or how their decline has taken place. So we just find all of these different things about in discovery as to who that individual is. And then we walk them around the community. We invite them to come and participate in our activities, especially like on March 19th, we're having a
Mhm.
St. Patrick's Day event for our residents in the community. So if y'all are out and about and you want to come by and you're looking for a place for your loved one, come by and see us at Legacy Ridge at Marietta on March 19th between 5 and 7. Come experience the community yourself.
Mhm.
And that way you can get that feel and that vibe when you walk in reference to, gosh, this feels like home, because we make it feel like home, and because it is our residents' home.
Yes.
And at our home, we have guests to come and visit with us and to eat with us and to play games and to, watch a movie or whatever. And we have every bit of that happening in our community. So we find out all of these different things and we just make it happen because that's what we're supposed to.
Yeah, well, I always, as somebody had told me this, common sense is not always common practice.
Mhm.
So tell us, like, I love what you just said. Now, what I think is scary for a lot of seniors is that first week or two. You're now meeting 100 and some people, depending on the size of your facility.
Mhm.
And we're not 25 anymore, so we have a hard time like keeping track of things. How is your orientation? Can you share some of your better practices that you found to be kind of, like you said, the gathering of information? What's it like over at Legacy? Are you all doing some things that help our seniors connect?
Oh, most definitely. First of all, it starts with a team, and we have a team there. Even though I do sales and marketing, I am also involved in the community as well. So I may sit there and wind up playing a game with them. When they are a new resident, we are always going into their room and saying, "Hey, it's time for bingo," or "Hey, it's happy hour." They love happy hour,
Mhm.
and of course, I love to have them happy hour as well. But no.
Sure.
But we go out and we get them and we bring them into the community. So they're just not moving into a room and the door is shut.
Right.
It's nothing to the effect of that. There's always a lot of warm touches along the way and throughout the day. We have a wonderful staff as well. They're very loving. They're very caring. They really are compassionate to our residents, and they understand that it can be intimidating, when somebody's coming in new.
Mhm.
And that's part of our discovery process as well, is because, well, we know that Mr. Jones played golf back in the day, and we know that Mr. Smith over here was a huge golfer. So we know who we can take and to introduce to help make those connections. So that way they instantly have a connection there and a commonality with another resident. So that's part of our discovery process. So that way we'll know that we can say, oh, they go over here with this table and so forth. And we find out, like I said, all the different things that they like to do. And then we have everybody to come in, and we cater activities to those things. So like if they're a golfer out in the courtyard, we'll have a golfing day.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they don't have me out there because I may bust a window, but
Well, you have to stay in your lane, as we say. If you're not a golfer, then we hand it off to another person.
Exactly. I'm not a golfer. I play a mean game of putt-putt, though. That's it.
Oh, hey, look, that rates.
Okay.
Putt. If you're not a good putter in golf, then you're not going to score very well. So
True.
There's some high marks for people that love putt-putt.
All right, good.
So what would you say at Legacy? What has really jumped out at you as far as what you guys are doing that maybe others have not tapped into? What has been working? I like to say, when the seniors light up, you're doing something.
Right. Like I said, I think it comes with a great team.
Mm-hmm.
We have a wonderful executive director, and her name is Lauren Ross. And I love you, Lauren. And she's just phenomenal. She is so compassionate. She's not one of these directors that stay off in her office all day long. She's out in the community as well. That's huge. She gets out there, she's playing games with them as well. She's doing painting with them as well. We all try to do that. It's just so important. And I think we had a wonderful Thanksgiving celebration. We had like 45 of our family members to come and join in the celebration with the residents there. So we're always doing family activities. We want the families to come. We want friends to come because our residents need that. Socialization is just huge. We have a wonderful greeter named Miss Sherry. I love you, Sherry, too.
Let's go back to that. You're saying that there's an official greeter.
Yes.
So what does that look like? Is that somebody that welcomes, as soon as they walk through the door, she's saying,
oh, yes.
Yeah, because I greet at my church, and I know how important that point of contact is, especially we talk about, walking through the church doors, and maybe somebody hasn't been to church in years or had a bad experience. If that greeter can kind of soften the anxiety that comes with a strange place, it makes it so much better. So let's go back to Sherry and let's talk. What is she doing? Does she work for you guys, or is she a resident?
No, she works for us, and she's there in the morning time. But Sherry has this exuberant, bubbly personality, and she sings throughout the day as the music is going. So we not only hear the radio, but we hear her singing too.
Really? Dang.
That's just, it just lights the community up.
Right.
And our residents love her as well.
Yes.
And when you come in, she just gives you that front door warm welcome. Of course, they always say backdoor guests are best, but they come through the front door, and she makes them feel so wonderful and welcomed into the community. And it's huge. Like I said, she is the face of the company when they first come in. And then, of course, I'm coming in right behind it. And then Lauren is coming out. So we have a wonderful, wonderful team. And we're all there for the residents. To work in an assisted living community, you have to love working with the elderly.
Yes.
And if you don't belong there. And if you do,
yes, I agree.
Everybody knows it and everybody loves it. And that's why we're at 96% capacity. We stay at full house because we love our residents. We take care of our residents. The families know that we love their family members, and they see that the care that they're getting, and they are constantly coming back and coming back. A gentleman is moving in today, and it's because of the caretaker. His two friends are a power of attorney over him. And one of the gentleman's parents used to be at our community. And so when they stepped in to help this friend of theirs, because he's not capable of making decisions, they immediately thought of Legacy Ridge at Marietta. So we have a lot of families that are coming back over and over again. And so that's huge. I mean, it speaks for itself.
Yeah.
I'm in a very blessed community.
Yeah. I like to always, if you're in people's conversations, like you're going to be biased towards Legacy because you work for them. I mean, it's like if you weren't biased, it'd be like that'd be weird. So tell me, what the reason for my question is, what would you think people say, residents, when they're talking about their place? What are they communicating to their friends about? Like, what are they saying? If you can put yourself in their shoes, and what do you hear or what do you think that they're talking about?
I think just the fact that it feels like home. This is their home, and the home is very warm. It's very inviting. Definitely talking about the care. The caretakers, like I said, they're so sincere. They love their residents that they care for. And they know that, they feel that. And if you're not feeling that, we wouldn't be at full house.
Right.
They wouldn't be there.
Absolutely. Totally agree.
And our chef, Albert, makes the best chicken. So the food is wonderful. I've put a few pounds on since I've been there. I had to kind of back off, but the food is good.
Yeah.
Like I said, the activity director is phenomenal. They have 6 activities a day. It can be from, exercise. Then we have Bible study. As a matter of fact, it's led by one of our residents, and he leads Bible study, and he'll go over there and he'll do it on the memory care side as well. They play games. Right now, Legacy Ridge at Marietta is under Atlas Senior Living. And so Atlas came up with a program for the year. Each month, we're going to go to a national park. So back in the day, we all used to travel. And so since now that our residents are not able to get out there and do that, we bring the traveling to them. So we've gone to Gatlinburg in January. It's Mammoth Cave in February. It's going to be the Grand Canyon for March. And our activity director is coming up with wonderful food for them to eat that you would find in those areas, arts and crafts that you would do that would revolve around those areas, from video, all kind of different things. So we keep them engaged in all kind of different activities. And so with that being said, between the love and the care and the activities, the happy hour.
Yeah, that's always popular because, I mean, you get to a certain stage, you're looking to have fun.
Yes.
It's like you worked your career. Now it's time to enjoy.
Right. And, and not only that too, it's not just with all of that, but we also take care of their room for them. So we clean their room for them weekly, their laundry, linens, all of that's done as well. So there's not a care in the world. It's just a matter of, they want to get up that day and what activity they want to do. They go out into the community, they'll go shopping, they'll go out to eat, they'll go bowling, they'll go to the museum. So I tell you, we really need to have a revolving door instead of a front door.
Right.
Because it's a hopping community, and that's what it's about. You've got to have the socialization, you've got to have the love and the care, and it's got to all come underneath one roof, and that's exactly what we do.
That is awesome. I'm applying after this podcast. Because you're really saying a lot of neat things. And I think when you can really put the attention on the residents,
yes,
build community, make them feel having fun, doing the things where, like you said, Lauren's involved in all the activities. When people see your heart, it warms their heart. So it's kind of like you can't fake these things.
No.
It doesn't work. It's like, when somebody's lying, because, they'll look the other way and they'll be looking distracting. Not to say that people lie, but I know they do. But what I'm saying is that connecting is felt by people.
Yes.
And I think it's important to be genuine and sincere and engaging and being a part of the community. Right. So tell our viewers, like, you have the St. Patrick's Day event coming up.
Yes.
Do you do a once a month kind of open house / event? Is that how you will reach out to families that are checking out different places?
We try to do that, yes. We try to do a monthly event. We do it for the community. We do it for the residents. Also, this is a good way for our referral partners as well, because we want people to come into the community, because if we don't do any type of networking, we may not be heard about as much. So with the outreach that we do, we invite all of these different sources to come in. So that way, because we know that everything's going to be word of mouth.
Right.
And so they'll go, oh, you know what? Well, I was just over at Legacy Ridge at Marietta. I really do like their community. What I really like about it the best is that it's a ranch style design. And so with it being just one level, it makes it a lot easier for the residents to get around. And there's a lot of different communities that are out there that cater to the different needs, likes, and wants. And but like I said, I am biased in reference to Legacy Ridge at Marietta.
Sure.
And I love, like I said, it's just a very nice, warm, welcoming, home felt community. When you walk in, it's just this huge, beautiful living area with these large windows in the back that you look upon our courtyard. So to me, it's just like being at home, sitting in your living room, and you're looking out your window, to the backyard, to your courtyard. So it has a lot of home felt feelings that they can relate to coming from their home into an assisted living community. And that's, that step down for them. And that's what I think separates us from everybody else, is because it's very warm, welcoming, and feels like home.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Tell our viewers, like, how would they get a hold of you and Legacy?
Well, you can always find us on Facebook. So if you would like to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, you can always peek in and see what's going on in the community. We're always posting different activities and events that are going on. Of course, we're at legacyridge@marietta.com, so you can find us that way as well. But the best is come by and come see me in person, and that way I can walk you around. And if you want to come during lunch, you can experience our food from Chef Albert. Yum! And
that would be the timing I think I'd visit.
You come right, especially Chicken Day.
Yes.
So anyway, I always brag about Albert's chicken. It's wonderful. But yeah, just different times. And seriously, if you like to come for lunch, I'd love to have you at lunchtime. That way you can experience the food, because food is a huge part of our life. Because, we sit at the table back in the day with our families. We go out to eat with our friends, and we're socializing. And we're doing the same thing in our community. So come by and experience different things with our community. And like I said, also, we're always networking, through Cobb County Senior Services as well. So I let them know when we're doing an activity, and they share it as well. So we're always networking, and the door is always open.
That's awesome. What are the cross streets? Whereabouts, so I can get my mind around where exactly is your cross streets?
We are 3 miles down the road from the Big Chicken, off of Roswell Road. We're on LaCroix Drive, which runs parallel to Roswell Road. So there's the Kroger, and then there's Harbor Freight, and then Wendy's sits right in front of us. We're right behind the Wendy's. So
yes,
I tend to go get a Frosty at lunch. It's really not a good combination.
They're pretty good. They take the calories out of those anyway. I heard. I don't know if it's true.
So.
Well, that's good. I do know what you're saying now. So as we wind down, what would be the one thing you want our viewers to take home from your time on the podcast?
Basically, I want everybody to know that there is a time and a place for everything. If you're seeing that you have a parent that's living at home with you, but they seem to, they're down, they're depressed, they're isolated, they may need to be in an assisted living community where they can be amongst their peers and to participate in activities and to feel like they have purpose in life. It's very much needed. Socialization is huge. They need to have those connections and so forth. Also, a lot of the families are worried about their parent, going into a community. I think that the family is more worried about it than the actual parent would be. Right. So it's like being the overprotective parent of a child. And they don't need to be. And so what we do is that we take and we invite the families to come in, like during the St. Patrick's Day event, have these warm introductions, come by and have lunch with us, let them come by and participate in activities with the residents there. So that way they can see if they are a good fit, they have a connection with somebody, because, you'll get that sense of feeling whether you belong or not, if you go into a community. So it's little things like that don't stress about that, because just like taking your child to school for the first day, sure, it's a little, tense in a sense of speaking, but once they're in a routine and they're with their friends day in and day out, and they're having fun and they're having activities and they're being engaged, it's the same thing in the assisted living community. They're having fun, they're having the connections, they're having activities, they got a sense of purpose and belonging. And the next thing you know, they're like, wow, mom and dad did really better than I thought they would.
Yeah.
So don't be so overprotective. It's okay.
Yeah, I think that is a common thing that you see is the kids are more worried and concerned than the mom and dad. But
Exactly.
I've heard stories like that where I don't know if you've seen the movie Queen Bees, but it's a lady that's very reluctant to go into a senior facility, and she ends up just blossoming because all of a sudden it's the fear of the unknown that really kind of holds us back. And I think for us here at Overture, it's like you move in for the first time and you're not 25 anymore. So there's all these people, and it's like, how do I connect with my new friends?
Right.
But I want to thank you, Stefanie, for being with us.
You're so welcome.
And taking the time to come over to Kennesaw Happenings and Overture to share the story that you have.
Well, thank you for having me. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
You're welcome.